And we are live. Welcome to Cleveland Business Live, episode 33. I'm Lisa Cole with eXp Realty. If you want to talk anything real estate, buying or selling, or if you want to be on the show, just go to lisacole.work, and that's the best way to get in touch with me. But today, I'm so excited to have this fabulous lady here. If you are in real estate, in Northeastern Ohio, and south of Northeastern Ohio, there's no don't know her, or like around the country. Courtney Demarco is with us. Welcome, Courtney.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm not used to being interviewed.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I want to have you on. I was so excited when I woke up today, and I was like, I get to hang with Courtney.
I know. I'm super pumped. I think this might actually be the first time I'm being interviewed. I normally do interviewing, so I don't even know what my face is like, just smiling.
Oh my God, I'm honored. I am honored. Well, Courtney, for those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, so she is head of business development for Fairway Mortgage Company, and her team does over 70 million alone every single year. She is dynamite. She's always on the go. She's always giving continuing education classes. And then you're a director on ACAR, which is the Cleveland Akron area Board of Realtors, and for WCR, which is Women Council of Realtors. So, oh my gosh, I want to hear the whole journey because you've been doing this for a minute. So how did this all start? And, what do you do today? And just tell us everything.
That's kind of a long story because I've been doing this for a very long time. But, I started when I was young. My uncle was a broker. He had a real estate company. And I used to climb upstairs and write on little Post-it notes, little postcards, and mail them out and call people through the Haynes crisscross directory, sort of like a telemarketer, and sent mailings out. So I think in today's day and age, we would call those people like ISAs. Of course, I was in, the 5th grade and had no idea what I was doing, but he was getting... Yeah, but he got listings because of it, and he'd buy me bakery as like payment. His office was upstairs from Barona's Bakery in Maple Heights.
Oh,
nobody knows where that is. So that was crazy, but that kind of got me into it a little bit. And then as I got older, I would sometimes pop into the office and help with some faxing and things like that. Nothing too much. But my mom was an escrow officer when I was growing up. And so during subprime, the title companies were so busy that the title company she worked for needed help. And I literally did every job at the title company, from ordering titles and clearing liens. I ended up being an escrow officer and preparing what was back then the HUDs. And then when subprime crashed, I went to work at a bank. I was in college at the time, and one of my girlfriends worked in the HR department at Fifth Third Bank. So I started working there. They had some organizational changes. So I ended up at KeyBank, Bank of America. So lots of banking experience, and all behind the scenes, like operations, which is why I think it's so weird that I landed where I am, because I really could like originate a loan all the way to selling it on the secondary market, like behind the scenes and operations. But when I moved away from banking and got into direct lending, I did use a lot of my operational skills at the direct lender I worked for, and I never knew like what would become. So I was working on the behind the scenes stuff, a lot of paper pushing, and I just kind of started getting out a little bit. And what I found was that people liked me, and I had sort of the gift of gab, and I was able to talk to people and make relationships. So we started seeing business because of that. And so it's like, well, do we just train other people to do the paperwork and have me do that? And it just sort of started to evolve. And a lot of it really because of Facebook and social media and being able to connect with people and to be authentic and for them to be able to sort of connect back.
Right.
I never could have imagined it. So I think I've been doing this industry for like 26, 27 years, but the sales side of it has only been for like the past 6 years. And it has just been the craziest ride because in that time, I got involved in Women's Council, been on their governing board. I participate on committees at the state level. Next year, I'll be on their governing board. Very involved in committees at ACAR. Ended up winning an election. Now I'm their affiliate director. Was just named their affiliate of the year, which is like, I have wanted to win that.
Of course you are. Woo!
I wanted to win that my whole life. I mean, that is like such a high honor. And with all the other things that have happened, it's like, not only is it fun and you're learning and growing, but I have this opportunity to help the people around me to learn and to grow and to become involved as well. And I think that that's the part that is the most fun, is seeing other people blossom and see them get more comfortable doing videos, or see them raising their hand to do things that they would have never done. And seeing them get promoted, whether it's in their office or doubling and tripling their business, or, going and raising their hand to run for something as well. I think that that is really the true kind of reward of the whole entire thing.
Yeah. And that is it's so awesome that you have both ends. I mean, you've got all the mechanicals of the business, but then the sales side too. And that's so rare, because typically that's two different personalities typically. But you bring the fun, but you also are down to business.
Do you know the DISC? Do you know the DISC assessment? So my whole life, I was just a D with like nothing else.
Oh, really?
And so normally, those are your leaders, and those are people that are, very sort of dominating a little bit, your leaders. But I was behind the scenes, and the more that I started to sell, the lower my D, it's still very high.
Yes, your D is there.
I have this I that's through the roof. So people should re-DISC themselves as they grow up and as you mature and things like that, because I never had a high I. I was kind of shy. I mean, not that shy. Just okay, not that shy. It's not quite as the I that I am now.
Yes, you're growing into the person that you are, but that's so true. I know sometimes it does evolve. I know my D got a little bit lower as the years went on, but it's still up there too. So it just depends on your environment and things like that. So you give a lot of social media classes to different real estate groups, right? I mean, that's your specialty. So, I mean, tell us about that. Like, you could do Zoom calls, in-person calls, that type of thing.
Yeah. So, it's funny because a couple of years ago, well, more than a couple of years ago at this point, I knew that there were other people that were teaching these CE classes, and I wanted to take some of the things that had worked for me and see if I could get them approved to start teaching them to help other people. But at first it started with getting mortgage courses approved. And I found that not a lot of people wanted to come to Appraisal 101 and FHA 101, which is sad, but that's a whole other conversation. I have handfuls of people that do now. So I had those classes all approved. And then I started to think about what would really attract people. How could I really get a better audience and get in front of people? And how can I still help them with their business? And that's when I started writing social media courses. In my very first one was a basic Facebook class, but now I'm teaching not only Facebook, but I teach Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn. Yeah. And so really being your true authentic self and how to use the different platforms differently to really stay on top of your sphere, to be connected with people, to be authentic, to build your brand, but with the end goal of developing your business and closing more deals. So I got these classes approved through the state. Most of them are 2-hour electives. I do have some 1-hour electives, and those are all in-person classes that I give. And so different brokerages will call me out, come into their team meetings. I'll come into, sometimes after-hour events, sometimes morning huddle-ups, and really speak to groups of people. And then, of course, they're learning for their business, but then they're going to get those hours too for their license. And so as things change, I'm writing new material all the time. And then now, because of this virtual world, I'm doing a lot of lessons via Zoom, but they will be approved through the state for hours via Zoom virtually too, probably within the next couple of weeks. I should have that. Yeah, so right now, I am starting to get back to doing some very small, socially distanced CE classes in person, which have been so nice to see people. And especially now, because everything's changed the way we do business, really being on your social media game and having a good brand and using multiple platforms is so important for realtors and any business person right now. Because if you're not on social media, where are people finding you or connecting with you?
Right, exactly. It's free marketing. It's free, and yes, exactly. So what are some of we're getting lots of love Brian Nichols says, get it, girls. Drew Gableman says, hey, ladies. Let's see, Katie Overton. Yes, Courtney Demarco. You're getting a lot of love. So what would you say, like, in this landscape? Because you were just awarded by the Women's Council of Realtors it's the National Social Media Influencer of the Year out of 10,000 people. So
it's me and 7 other people. So 8 of us were named. Okay. Out of 10,000 people. And wow. I was telling you, I didn't know, like, this wasn't something you applied for. And right. I had no idea that this was going to be something. And I was on Facebook and I saw some of my friends saying, oh, I'm so happy I got picked as an influencer. So I was congratulating them. Right. And they were like, well, your name was on the list too. I said, it was.
Me?
I said, no. I was so busy, and I went through all my emails. I went through different folders, and there it was.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that is awesome. Congratulations, girl. You work it. What would you say are some of the top tips you could give realtors and business owners, like now during the time that we're in, social media wise? What are, like, 3 things that we should be focusing on?
I think that really finding your own authentic voice and then putting that into your brand. So I'm keeping up with Coco, right? So the first 2 letters of my first name and the last 2 of my last name. Did you ever notice that? That's the whole Coco, right?
Okay.
And so I use it for all of my handles across everything. So it's on Facebook, it's going to be on my Instagram, my Snapchat, all of my different platforms have that handle, and the brand is consistent across all of them. So you would know that you found the right page because it all looks so similar. So having that brand, but who you are and being authentic in who you are, that is going to be the number 1 part of your brand. So being authentic in your brand. But number 2, it can't always be about business, right? Can't always talk about listings. We can't always talk about interest rates, right? But it's sharing that other sort of content about who you are and what makes you tick and the different things that you're doing, different things that you're exploring, things that are motivating you. So sharing that type of content is really how you make friends and connect with people personally, and then the business comes, and then the business part of it comes. So I think having that nice balance of really just content and the relationship building versus just the business. So that's important too. And then number 3, video and being on more than 1 platform. So you don't have to do a video necessarily 3 times a day, all day, every day, but there need to be some videos of you out there, and you have to get comfortable doing it. You don't have to love the sound of your voice or love the way that you look, because it is what it is. You look how you look and you sound how you sound, and it's probably amazing.
And
but you have to do it.
Some good lighting and some, lighting helps. But I have to tell you, you're actually the reason. So when COVID first hit, my coach was like, okay, what can we do to help local business owners? You should do like a live show with different business owners. And I was like, yeah, but no, I'm too scared. But then you had me as a guest on a WCR show, and it was like so fun. And I felt that adrenaline was so exciting that I was like, all right, I'll do it. But it's still, sometimes you still get nervous before you go on, but it's just like you get used to it. So be yourself.
And look at you now. Look at you, episode 33. Yeah.
It's just fun. I'm just having fun with it. I feel like I'm thankful that I found something that I actually enjoy doing and that helps other people too. So yeah, but oh my God, I loved having you on. And
I'm so happy that you had me on. Yes. And I'm so happy that I know you and I get to see you at things and we get to do things together. You always make me feel so good and so happy. You're very welcoming. So really appreciate being on here today.
Absolutely, girl. And if you need anything, go to Courtney's page, Keeping Up with Coco. And if you want to have her, give you some, or your company, your team, continuing education classes, just reach out. All right, everybody have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, Lisa.